Welcome back to Tipping Point. I'm your host, Kara McKinney. Joining us now with this Everything is Stupid weekly wrap-up is author and supply chain consultant Jim Nels. Jim, thanks for being here tonight. What do you have for us this Friday?
Hey, Kara, thank you, and greetings from Shanghai, China, where it's already Saturday morning. Everyone in Tipping Point land is in for a wild Friday night. I know, I've already been through it. Even from here in China, it's been another crazy, stupid week. I've got a lot to cover. Let's jump right in. Let's start with politics. Republicans still haven't elected a Speaker of the House, leaving the gavel in the hands of Speaker Pro Tem Patrick McHenry of North Carolina since October 3rd. McHenry's first action as acting Speaker, with the House in disarray, no Speaker to oversee the people's business, was to send everyone home for a week, like children picking up their toys and stomping off when they didn't get their way. Steve Scalise of Louisiana tried and failed to win the speakership. Jim Jordan's bid appears to be doomed as well. So who will step up to be the next Speaker? Both Donald Trump and Homie the Clown have said that they wouldn't accept the nomination. Kevin McCarthy said he'd only consider running it fast by a supermajority of Congress. Yeah, that's going to happen. That's like me saying I'm only going to go out tonight if a supermodel asks me out on a date. It's not going to happen. Democrats and political pundits are calling for a consensus candidate, someone who would appeal to both parties. Heck, maybe they can bring back Paul Ryan. He's a Democrat that rhinos love. Or how about John Bonner? He could represent the Cannabis Party, smoke the old peace pipe with Elizabeth Warren and members of the squad. Hey, I say leave the position open. At least that way Congress can't do any more harm to the country. Joe Biden continues to struggle with, well, Kara, let's admit it, he continues to struggle with just about everything. He traveled to Israel this week in an attempt to show solidarity with the grieving nation and try to broker some sort of a peace deal. The trip was a disaster. I know, what else is new? But hey, it was really bad. First, old Joe apparently confused Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, asking the Prime Minister when he shaved his beard and stopped wearing combat fatigues. President Biden then appeared to be confused by the Israeli flag, telling reporters that he really enjoyed the way Israel treated him like a star by placing all them star flags next to Old Glory. Biden then had been scheduled to meet with the presidents of Egypt and Jordan, but the Jordanians unexpectedly canceled the meeting at the last minute, claiming the president demanded a dinner meeting. Unfortunately, he wanted it to be held at 4 o'clock at an Old Country buffet. The visit wasn't without controversy, as the president, in an attempt to ingratiate himself with Orthodox Jews, sported a propeller beanie instead of a yarmulke. He also talked about being raised in a synagogue and living in a kibbutz while studying the Quran. He then asked if he could get a pulled pork sandwich. During the press gathering on Air Force One, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, the best press secretary in the history of press secretaries, simply said, this is the last time the president will travel without his medication. Squad member Cori Bush found herself in hot water once again this week, and it wasn't for being in Joy Reid's hot tub. Miss Bush has continued shoveling campaign cash to her husband, Courtney Merritt, but altered the description of the payments after media scrutiny. She has sent over $100,000 to him since he was added to the campaign's payroll nearly 2 years ago. Bush's committee paid Merritt $12,500 for wage expenses between July and August. Merritt previously gathered money from security services, but the committee switched the characterization in April as he continued to bring headaches to the campaign. The new cash follows the $30,000 Bush's campaign paid him before the third quarter. So far this year, he has received $42,500 from the committee. He's collected over $100,000 since he first emerged on his payroll in 2002. Ms. Bush says she requires protection due to previous attempts on her life and has paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to security firms on top of the early payments to her husband. Yeah, just like I need security to keep all the ladies off me. Nice try, Corey. Anyway, this is from a woman who wants to defund the police, hates America, supports terrorists, and obviously doesn't spend money on her wardrobe or beauty products. Keep up the great work. In other news, the Green Mafia had a difficult week, seeing setback after setback and having its hypocrisy exposed for all to see. Let's start with hypocrisy. It's such a fun word to say. Numerous prominent environmentalist groups declined to comment about the Biden administration's decision to ease oil sanctions on the socialist Venezuelan regime. The Sierra Club, National Resources Defense Council, Earth Justice, Climate Defiance, Greenpeace USA, and Extinction Rebellion all declined to comment or did not respond to questions asking whether they approved of the sanctions reduction deal, which is expected to lead to a sharp increase in oil exports. The Biden administration will ease U.S. sanctions on Venezuelan oil sales in return for Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro's promise to hold freer elections next year.